Hey everyone, HomerStar13 here, and welcome to the next part of the video game collection series. And this time we're going to be finishing the PS3 section and going over the digital games. So, shouldn't take too long, only a few games on here, but of course I still got to film this differently than how I would film my regular section, so it can't just show like game box art, so just going to show you the games on the screen, just going to talk about them for a bit. So yeah, let's just get right into it, and we'll start with PS3 section, and here we go. The first game, DuckTales Remastered. So I did a video on this over Christmas during the Advent Calendar series. So if you want to see me play through this game, like play through a level of this game, you can watch that video. Yeah, DuckTales Remastered is really fun. Like, you know, perfect. It's the remake of the NES game, and it's like it does a really good job of like making it like it's not just like levels from the game. They actually like put in story in there, and it's really cool. They brought back all the original voice actors, or at least all the ones they could get. So like Alan Young, who was like I think was like 90 at the time, revised his role as Scrooge McDuck in there, and that's so cool that he came back for that. And he sounded great and all that, you know. It makes me surprised actually, like, why, when the remake of DuckTales happened like a few years ago, why they didn't make another DuckTales game. Like, that would have been a slam dunk, a sequel to DuckTales based on the remake. That would have been so simple. Why did they not do that? Companies are weird. But yeah, I think this is still available. I remember there was like a rumor a few years ago, like it was going to get taken off from the store, but I believe it's still on there now. And I think it is still, there is a physical release, so you don't have to worry too much about missing out on this game. But you should get it if you haven't played it, it's really good. Next up, so we've got 5 games that are basically the same. That's the Strong Bad, Cool Games for Attractive People series. So we've got Episode 1, Homestar Ruiner, Episode 2, Strong Bad the Other 3, Episode 3, Bad of the Bands, Episode 4, Danger Esque 3, The Criminal Projective, and Episode 5, 8-Bit is Enough. So, as I'm sure you can tell by my name and my profile picture, I love Homestar Runner. So Homestar Runner was this, like, what would you call it? It's like a web flash series of, like, really weird, like, wacky adventures. And, like, so you got Strong, and, like, so Strong Bad was, like, he wasn't the main character, that was Homestar Runner, but Strong Bad was, like, the, I guess you would say, like, the breakout star. Like, he had the email. He had a section called Strong Bad Emails, and people would email him. And then, like, lots of, like, fun, like, episodes would, like, adventures would happen based on the email. I recommend them. They're still really fun. And, like, they update every now and then, because I think they're quite busy. I think, like, the guys who created this show, they've now, like, gone on to, like, work with Disney. Like, I think one of them worked on Gravity Falls, which is pretty cool. One of them worked on Star vs. Forces of Evil. So they've done quite a lot of stuff now since. But yeah, this was so this was like a 5-game series, and this will be fun. This is a fun fact. This was made by Telltale Games. Yes, the same guy who went on to The Walking Dead made this game. I mean, this was in their early stages, so that they hadn't done Walking Dead at this point. So they were kind of like making a bunch of different kinds of games. So you had this. I think they did a Wallace and Gromit game as well, and they did a remake of Sam & Max. But this was before they did Walking Dead, where the things got a lot more like over the top and dark and adult. But I still think these games are pretty fun. I don't think they're on PS3 anymore. I think you can get them on Steam. I believe they're still on Steam. But yeah, if you're a fan of Homestar Runner, I highly recommend you pick them up because they are really fun. If I would say my favourite, I would say probably 8-Bit is Enough because it's really gaming inspired. But I think Danger Esque 3 is fun as well. Like, if you're a Homestar Runner fan, you'll understand what Danger Esque is. So to get to play through one of like the third movie is really fun. So yeah, really great games. I really recommend them. So next up, we've got Cartoon Network Punch Time Explosion XL. So this is basically Cartoon Network Smash Brothers, which sounds awesome, but this is an incredibly floaty and janky game. Like, I can have fun with it because it's got Cartoon Network characters in it. It's got a lot of characters in it I like. So you can see there, you got Blue Fosters, Samurai Jack, Buttercup, like all the Powerpuff Girls are in there, Dexter, Grimm. You can have some fun with it if you like the characters, but it's one of those things like I think I was saying about the like Ninja Turtles game in the Wii video is that you can understand why Smash became so successful and why it's been so hard for other companies to make their own version, because there's so much more that goes into Smash than just putting characters together. And but it's not terrible. It's got its own subspace mode in it, which is quite fun. But I think it's okay. Like, I'll every now and then I will go back in to play this game because I do find it quite fun. In fact, so funny enough, this did get a physical release, and this is a physical game. This was the first time I bought a digital game. Sorry, the first time I bought a physical game digitally. And I remember I did that because I think it was on sale, and like when the game came out physically, I didn't really buy it because I think I'd seen the game, I just didn't think it looked that fun. So it was on sale digitally, and I just picked it up because I think I had some money left over from like a card, and yeah, I think for how much I think I paid for it, I think it's pretty fun. So yeah, I guess again, if you like Cartoon Network and you like Smash, give it a go. I guess I'll say it's not as good as the Nickelodeon game, but I'll get to that one in like the PS5 video. Next up, one of my favourite arcade games ever, Daytona USA. I love this game. Anytime I see this in an arcade, I go straight towards it because it is so much fun. So yeah, Sega racing game. Like, I remember when they announced this was coming to PS3. I was so happy because, yeah, just love this game. There's not really much to say about it. It's just a generic, not a generic, but just a traditional racing game with like NASCAR stuff. It kind of surprised me they never put this on Switch. They haven't put this on Switch yet, or like modern consoles, because I don't see why they can't. I think they made a remake to Daytona USA not long ago. It's in arcades. But yeah, I really hope they bring this back because I don't know if you can still buy this on PS3. I assume you can, but I don't know. Like, yeah, it's like it's always hard finding out which digital games stay on board and which don't. Because I think this was on PlayStation Plus. Like, you could like stream it on PlayStation Now for a period of time, but I don't think you can do that anymore. So yeah, if you can get this game, I'd recommend it. It is great. Speaking of games that you now can't, arcade games, but one that you can't get anymore. The Simpsons arcade game. Yeah, this was a big deal when this got remade. This got put on PS3 because this was a game that never got re-released. Like, I mean, it got like its arcade port. It had a bunch of random PC ports, but then it never came to like console. There was no Super Nintendo version or anything like that, which is so weird when you think about it, you know. But it eventually came to PS3, and yeah, I love it. It's just a classic arcade beat 'em up stuff. Unfortunately, but like I say, unfortunately, you can't buy this anymore. It got taken off stores quite a while ago now because I think it was Konami, and Konami only had the rights to like release it for a certain period of time. But it's such a shame it got taken off because, as mentioned, it took so long for this game to come onto consoles, and then it got taken off. Yeah, like, I guess you can still play it through emulation and that. So, like, you can't... It's not, like, lost forever. You can still find it in some places, but there's nowhere to get it, like, officially anymore. Unless you got it on PS3 when it was out. So, yeah, like, if you can find it in, like, an arcade or whatever, definitely play it, but, yeah. Alright, next two, we got Sonic 4 Episode 1 and Sonic 4 Episode 2. Yeah, that does make that quiet, sorry. Yeah, these games... At the time, I really liked these games. I thought they were really, really fun. But I've kind of, like, changed my opinions on them. Like, I'll say this, I don't think I've played them since. Actually, no, I tell a lie. I did... Not long ago, I did play Sonic 4 Episode 1 because I wanted to, like, just beat the game. Like, because I think I recently beat the game. They're just fine, I guess. Like, I think it was Some Comic Journey's review which kind of like opened my eyes to these games, where he basically revealed that these were meant to be mobile games. And if you play these games, you can immediately tell that they were meant to be mobile games. Like, it's so obvious. But I guess they're okay. I guess in a post-Sonic Mania world, there's not really any reason to go back to these games because Sonic Mania is basically Sonic 4. But I guess they're okay. Like, you won't do any harm playing them, is what I would say. They're fine. They're fine for what they are. But they could have been better. And I think calling them Sonic 4 was a bit of a... Like, it was marketing, basically. And that basically kind of killed it in a way. But yeah, that's it. Next up, Rocket Knight. So this was the remake of the Super Nintendo Sparkster and Genesis Rocket Knight games. So these next two, I bought these games when... I want to say like 2 years ago. Whenever they said the PS3 store was getting closed down, I kind of like went through a couple of games and bought a load of them. And this was one of the games I bought. And yeah, I played a bit of it, and it's okay. Yeah, it's fine. Like not a lot to say about it. It's just pretty fun. Next up, Hardcore Uprising. So this is a another like remake thing, sort of remake of Contra Hardcore, I believe, or the Genesis Mega Drive game. Again, I played one level of it. It seems okay. I only bought it because, as mentioned, the stores were going down. Well, the stores were going down, but then they changed their mind, so I just decided to get them just before it did shut down. And of course, it didn't shut down, so yeah. But I'll definitely go and play it at some point. Next up, X-Men the arcade game. Speaking of Simpsons arcade game, this is another game you can't get anymore. So this is again port of the X-Men arcade game. Yeah, it's fine. Just a traditional beat 'em up game with X-Men characters. I think I beat this one not that long ago. But yeah, pretty fun. Again, there's probably some way you can play it from like emulators and that. So if you can play it in an emulator, I recommend it. It's fine. And this is a controversial one. So this is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Turtles in Time Reshelled. So this was the remake of the arcade game. Yeah, not the Super Nintendo version, the arcade version. Was it? Yeah, it was the arcade version because the Super Nintendo one had the extra levels. So people hate this game, huh? I don't mind it. I think it's fine. I think people are way too harsh on it sometimes. I think it's okay for what it is. Again. But again, similar to like the Simpsons arcade game and those things, it was kind of annoying because people just really wanted to play the original version, and then they just made this version. And again, this one can't be played anymore, which I guess people don't mind. Of course, now it doesn't really matter because the Cowabunga collection came out, and that's got all the arcade stuff in it and the Super Nintendo games. So yeah. Even though you can't buy this one anymore, even if you could, it's not really any reason for it. So those are the PS3 games. So now we're going to move on to the PS2 classics and the PS1 classics. First up, the PS2 classics. And we got Incredibles, PS2 Incredibles game. And I guess I'll just do it together. And the other one is Finding Nemo on PS2. Yeah, I had these games when I was younger. I don't have them on console anymore. So I kind of bought them, again, when the store was going down, and I was worried that I was going to lose these games. I got them like sort of straight away to make sure I would have them. And yeah, they're pretty okay. Like, I think Incredibles is probably better, but I haven't played that game in a long time. I need to go and play that game again. Similar with Finding Nemo. I think I actually beat Finding Nemo when I was younger. I think this was one of the games I played with my mum when I was younger, and we used to love this game. So yeah, like, I'll probably have to go back and play these games one day, but yeah, not really much to say, just some fun. Back when, like, licensed games were all the rage, and sometimes they were good, but most of the time they were rubbish. And last up, the PS1 classics. So first off, we've got Buzz Lightyear of Star Command. This game is terrible. This is an awful game. This is not fun in the slightest. So this is based on the animated series that was like what the Buzz Lightyear toy was supposed to be based on, until that film came out and was said, no, this is how it really was, but that film was terrible, so I'd rather it be this continuity. I haven't actually seen the show, but I'd say from what I've seen of it, it looks way more like a Buzz Lightyear like show than the movie did. But that's all I'm going to say about that one. But yeah, this game is terrible. It's like how would you describe it? It's like a weird, like, you like play as Buzz Lightyear and you have to like chase the enemies, like chase an enemy through a level, and then you have to like just beat the enemy, and it's just, there's so many irritating levels. There was one level in this game that made me so angry. It's like, it's a timed thing, and I got all the way, and like, and I got like nearly to the end of the level. The time ran out. I died, and I had to go all the way to the beginning of the stage. And I raged so hard. Yeah, like, I guess if you like Buzz Lightyear, you can play it, but it's not. Next up, Toy Story Racer. So yeah, this is really fun racing game based on Toy Story. Yeah, like traditional Traveller's Tales made this, and they're great. Yeah, not much to say about this one. Just a nice racing game with Toy Story characters. And I don't think I ever had this game when I was younger. But I had a friend who had this game, but I never had it. So when it came out on PS Store, I wanted it straight away. Yeah. And yeah, pretty fun. Yeah, probably the second best Toy Story game on PlayStation after Toy Story 2, which we'll be getting to if I do my PS5 stuff. Next up, Crash Bandicoot 2, Cortex Strikes Back. So I haven't played this version in a long time. In fact, I don't think it's going to be on here for much longer. Like, if I ever need some space, this will probably be the first game to go, because I've got the Insane Trilogy. But yeah, this is my favourite Crash Bandicoot game, so part of me did think about going back to this version to like see how different it is to the remake. But there's that other part of me that's like, I don't really think it's necessary. Like, the Insane Trilogy is just this, but like better in every way. So yeah, I can't see me keeping this game around much longer. Next up, A Bug's Life. So I had this game when I was younger, and yeah, I had a lot of these like licensed games when I was younger. Although weirdly enough, I don't actually remember much about the film Bug's Life. I remember liking it when I was a child, but I haven't seen it since. I haven't seen it for years. Maybe that's something I need to watch one day. I need to watch Bug's Life again. But yeah, like, it's just it's just a traditional platforming game. Actually, I don't think I never actually got far in this game. I think I got to like, I want to say like the mission where you're using like, you've got to like float over to like the other you got to fly with a little dandelion or something, and I could never beat that stage. I could never get past it when I was younger, probably because I didn't know what I was doing. But I'm sure if I played this again, I'd know what I was doing. But yeah, pretty good. But actually, I actually have a funny story about this game. So when I was very young, God, I don't know how long ago it was, I went to Florida with my family, and we went to a hotel, and they had an N64 in the hotel, and downstairs in the hotel, you could like rent games out, and I think they had a couple of games out. I want to say they had like one of the WWF games in there. They probably had Mario 64, or probably had Banjo-Kazooie there. Did I pick any of those games? No, I picked A Bug's Life. Even though I had it on PS1, I decided that, no, instead of playing a new game that I have never played before, I decided to go for the game that I already owned. Yeah, I just find that funny. And I think I was confused on why the game was different to the PS1 game. I think, knowing me, I probably thought because it was American it was different. There was a lot of things about America I thought I knew when I was younger, but it turns out I was completely wrong. Next up, Monsters Inc. Scare Island. So this was another game I had when I was younger. Like, these are all the games I had when I was younger. And I actually did beat this game when I was younger, and it's okay. I mean, I love Monsters Inc. It's one of my favourite Pixar films. So, yeah, not much to say. Just another traditional, like, game, huh? But I don't think this wasn't Traveller's Tales. No, this wasn't Traveller's Tales. Yeah, pretty okay. Oh, Destruction Derby. So, this is another game again, had this when I was younger. This has not aged well in the slightest. This is not a good game. Huh? Again, I only bought it because the store was going away, and I wanted this game because it's kind of fun. But yeah, not a fun game. Just very, very boring now and very generic. And there are so many better Destruction Derby games out there. Okay, next up. Here's a fun one. International Track and Field. So I don't know if we had this version or we had the sequel, but I remember I used to go around my auntie and uncle's house all the time, and I'm pretty sure they had this game or they had the sequel to it, and the amount of times we used to play this game and trying to like beat the missions, it was really hard to beat. But I had lots of fun with it, and I had lots of memories with it, so which is why, again, I decided to pick it up. I need to get the sequel as well, because that was fun. But yeah, again, pretty much all I need to say there. It's pretty fun. And finally, Peter Pan's Adventures in Neverland. Again, another game I had when I was younger. I think this was another game I used to play with my mum all the time. In fact, yeah, we used to play this one all the time. Like, we used to love this one. I don't think we ever beat it, though. But it's just one of those games where, like, it's probably not very good, but the memories there. Like, I really need to buy a bunch of the PS1 games again. I need to get my collection back out with all the old stuff. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, not really a lot to sort of say in this one. I guess it's a lot harder to do this video where I'm not really like showing you the cases and that. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video, which I believe should be Wii U, and that will be another very short one. So bye everyone.